Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Huh. Thank you all for joining. Good to be back. Real quick, before we hop in, I'm Ramon. She's Jess. We're doing a series of boot camps. We're doing a free JavaScript boot camp right now. We are about 5 and a bit weeks in, which is wild. If you want to keep up with the schedule, here is the link to the Bad Website Club website, where you'll find not just that, but all other information, including the recordings. If you're joining in and you're like, oh, I want to catch up, go to youtube.com/@badwebsiteclub. You'll find all the recordings there. I need to update the playlist. I'll do that shortly. And finally, we've got our code of conduct. If by joining this bootcamp, you agree to abide by it. If you find anything out of sorts, please let us know. And I think that covers everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Amazing. So we've got a special one for you today because this is the third project out of 5. Now, in order to complete this bootcamp and get your certification from Free Code Camp, you really need to complete these 5 projects. Because they're meant to be solved by you, we're not going to be doing them for you. Instead, we'll be just breaking down some of how we approach the solutions to the project. And well, today we'll be doing that once again.
So I'm going to be the really, really mean person here. And I'm going to be
No
the
problem.
person saying when we stop. So we're going to break down the entire project in pseudocode. So we're going to break down what the logic of this is in code-like language. And then
Mhm.
let's go ahead and set let's set 1 or 2 milestones to actually
Yeah.
work out the logic of those. And then I'm so sorry we're gonna abandon y'all just because part of the, free code camp projects is you attest that you're not using anybody else's work. So we don't wanna lead you down a pathway where you're accidentally using work we've showed you. But also, while the certificate is great, the whole point of this is to come away with the learning and being able to do it yourself. If you can't do this project right now, that's chill. We do not expect you to be able to. In order to keep up with the pace of this boot camp, if you're watching live, you would have had to be working like almost full time, actually full time on this. And we do not expect you to. Ramon and I are able to go ahead and break some of this down because we've done this before. We're
Yep.
cheating. We've worked in tech before. We've practiced this together. So if you see us zipping through this and then you're doing it and you're like, what? That's super chill. It's because you're not cheating.
Very well put. So
So,
let's look at what we're doing today. Sorry, Jess.
no, please.
What we'll be doing today is the telephone number validator. And what this involves is having a little web app. I'm going to bring up the example here. Having an example web app. Whoa, give me a sec. There we go. Is having a phone number. So I'm going to copy one of these valid phone numbers from here. I find American phone numbers quite complex, which I
They're
find super
weird.
interesting. Yeah. So
Because,
this is an example of an American. Oh, sorry.
it's, you don't always have to add the country code because if you're in
Yeah.
country, but then it needs a 3-digit area code that says roughly where you are.
Yep.
Cool. Ooh, we've got a really good question from Steven. So we're gonna talk about this in just a second. I love it.
This is exactly what we want to do today. So we can see here, we click on check. We get a valid US number. I'm going to put a 123, 123, 123. That is a invalid. Oh, look at that.
There's
It
not
adds
enough
new ones.
digits. You want 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh.
Oh, interesting. That's a valid one.
Okay, it's
I
because
have to admit.
you need one more number.
Oh, no, this one's valid. The 123, 123,
Yeah,
123,
yeah.
4.
But 1, 2, 3. Wait, hang on. We are bike shedding. We are talking about we're arguing over the
Okay.
inconsequential things instead of the big things. Um, and this is really important to distinguish between a phone number validator. Is this a real phone number that could exist? All we're doing here is this phone number shaped? Does it
Yeah.
have the right number of digits? Um, does it, if it starts with a 1, does it then have the right number of digits?
Yeah.
Um, And does it not have any letters or symbols in it? There are libraries that can check the validity of a phone number, but you generally got to pay for them. So we're going to write our own that just
Yeah.
checks, is this phone number shaped?
Very well put. So here's what we're going to do today, folks. We've got an index HTML where you might notice it's quite empty. We have in our body just the script because just like before, we're not going to be building the UI or user interface, but instead we're just going to be writing some JavaScript. And our objective today is to build a functionality, a function, and hey, let's start brainstorming this.
So this question from Steven is one I want to go ahead and get up right from the beginning. So like, I would love to hear any tips or tricks we have for starting a project like this, even to
Mhm.
start conceptualizing the pseudocode. I love this question because this is really about, hey, what's the logic behind this? Yeah. So for me, I usually start because, and the thing is, y'all's way of breaking this down is going to be very, very different. I know a lot
Yep.
of people who like to get like a whiteboard app and do a flow chart of the logic. So very functional programming. What do these things need to do? What flows into each other? Um, I like to grab a pen and paper and draw, okay, here's step one. What's the next step in the logic?
Yep.
Um, and there's so many, and unfortunately, there's so many ways to do this that one of the best ways to do it is to pair program with a friend or a new friend and see how they do it to be like, oh, that not the projects. You might want to do these solo.
Yep.
But working together with other people on projects to be like, oh, that's a really interesting way to see how somebody broke down a project. I sometimes make
Absolutely.
fun of the like YouTube programming
Oh,
persona.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, look at this! Oh, it runs! Just because I haven't had that level of energy since the 90s. But sometimes these,
You
I'm
never
going to
did.
show you today how to build this in 4 lines. Some of those can really break down how other people break down projects really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I always love to do with something like this is just break it down into one step at a time, divide and conquer, small wins,
Decomposition.
decomposition. So, you know what? I've got some examples here of valid formats for US phone numbers. So, here's what I've done. I know I need a function. I'm calling it validate. It takes one argument, one parameter, a phone number. What this function does is it returns true if the phone number is valid, it returns false if it's not valid.
So what we've done here is we've taken the big problem. I
Yep.
need something that, and we've just written that down. So we don't know how we're going to get there yet, but you're like, hey, do you know what? Where we need to go is
Mhm.
here. And we've got some use cases that have been written for us. So we could probably, in our comments, under return false is not, we could probably write out what kinds of things shouldn't be valid. We could
True.
just write them over just to keep them in our heads.
Totally.
Okay, so
Now,
mm,
when I look at something like this, I do realize that I do see that we're going to be working with strings and we want to recognize a pattern in strings. And you might have noticed from yesterday and a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, we've been working with regular expressions. So I think that the most important way to start here is to make a regular expression for this. Now, let's look at the let's look at the structure of a phone number. This phone number will start with the country code 1. Cool. Put a 1 in there. Then it'll have a space. Then it will have 3 digits. Doo, doo, doo. Sorry. Can't find my backslash. There we go. 3 digits. Did we do this yet? This syntax for
we did. We did
regex?
this with Stuart yesterday, and he was like, "Look."
Amazing.
He was very showy about it.
So, whoops, just deleted that. Then we'll have a dash. Then we will have 3 more digits. I'll go ahead and copy paste that.
Do you know what?
Yes.
So
Yes.
so this is not a very systemic way to break this down. We're like having a conversation. And this is really, really natural for how a lot of these get solved. But so we've got the option to accept valid phone numbers that have dashes and that don't have dashes.
Yep.
I'd kind of prefer to copy the string
Mm-hmm.
into an array that doesn't have any of the dashes and then or copy it into a string
Ooh.
that doesn't have. Yeah. So I'd prefer to like if we've got a string,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that we're just going to automatically reject anything with letters. We're going to automatically reject anything with characters that are not 0 to 9.
Yeah.
And it means that we do have to accept this hyphen in appropriate places right now.
Yep.
But I think we could like can we see the instructions again? Do the instructions care where the hyphens are?
So some phone numbers will care about it. Some phone numbers won't.
But
So what
like,
I want to do actually is forget all the other types of
yeah.
phone numbers and focus only on this one.
Okay, so you want to go through sort of different cases where it's like this works, this works. Noja's
Exactly.
asking a very important question. Do the hyphen symbols in American phone numbers mean anything? No. They're just there for
I have no
readability,
idea.
but they're there in like first 3 digits hyphen, last 4 digits hyphen. I don't know why, and I refuse to learn.
Yep. I'm just focused on this.
Yeah.
I'm just focused on this one phone number. Does it work? So I would return. Oh, this is going to use something we learned yesterday. regex.test
Oh.
phone number. So, this is being flagged as false, even though we know that this is a valid phone number. And the reason for that is because I did put the space there, but look, I put an extra space here by accident. This is
Ah.
a typo on my end. So I'm going to delete that. Now it's going to give me true. So great. We've now validated that this is a valid phone number. We also want to validate that this, for example, is not a valid phone number. This is, for example, is not a valid phone number. Now, hold on a minute. This phone number says hello, and then there's a phone number after it. The problem is the regular expression is looking for this pattern. It finds it and accepts this whole thing as a phone number. Now, there's a bunch of ways to be able to do this more cleanly, but you know what's great? Did we learn the syntax already? The caret and the dollar sign?
No.
Oh, I get to teach this. How fun. Oh,
We did carrot thing, I think.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Noja's got it. So apparently the little hat baby is called a carrot.
Yep.
Please don't call it the little hat baby in interviews, y'all. I'm so sorry.
And there's a dollar sign at the end.
Okay.
Now, just to refresh, the caret says, hey, the string should start with this regex. And the dollar sign means this string should end with this regex. Which means that if I put hello here, this phone number is now false because the phone number does not begin with this regex.
Oh, so we're saying like, hey, at the start of this string, I need this to be happening.
Yeah.
And then the dollar sign's like, look at the end of the string. So look, I need you to only, so you need to start here and you need to end here. And if you deviate from that, it's not cool. It's not true.
Exactly. So cool. We've done what? You know what?
Oh,
I'm gonna do a
Tina
little
points
pep talk.
out that we did not do the dollar sign. I think we did the caret. I'm almost sure. I'm cautiously
Okay.
sure. Um, mm.
But yeah, the dollar sign is the equivalent of the caret, but for the end of a string.
All right.
Now, that's one phone number type done. Of course, we can't do the Austrian country code. That's false because it needs to start with the US American one. And since we're matching digits, we can do 555, 555, 555, 1. If we leave out the dashes, it's not a valid phone number. Fantastic.
For this case, because
Yep.
okay.
Exactly. As far as we're concerned. But now, let's take another phone number.
Ooh, do you know what? I'm messy. I'm deeply messy. So I kind of want to be like, if, and then have a whole bunch of ors, like if this or this or this or
Nailed
this
it.
or this is true. So you could just do just. Who doesn't hate just in explaining programmers?
Mm-hmm.
So we could use an if else statement and the or operator to say, hey, if any of these case conditions are true, go ahead and throw me back a true. And we could just define all of them. Or we could say, so I can think of a couple different ways to do this, but we're just going to talk through all of this. And we're not going to write the or operator or the if else logic for folks. No.
No.
We're just going to talk about this.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking, so we've got one regex here. Let's do a second one here to validate this phone number. So it'll start with, we need our caret with a 1, and then we need we need a space.
We need a
Please,
space. So
yeah.
no, Stuart taught us about this. So that escape S actually gives us any kind of white space.
Correct.
Do we want to limit people to a space? Do we think, like, if people want to do a tab, I don't care.
Yeah.
I guess if people want to do a carriage return and enter, I don't care. You know what? You're right.
I don't know if those are white spaces, to be honest.
Ooh. So we talked about doing so I pitched, hey, we could do if and then have all these different reject cases separated by the or operator, the little bar. And Lisa said, you know what I was thinking is storing the valid formats in an array and then loop over it to match.
Lisa,
I
you read my
love
mind.
this because this is different logic to do the same thing. And that's what's absolutely enraging about the poetry of JavaScript. The poetry of any kind of programming is like, hey, I want to get here. There's usually a couple different ways to do it.
Absolutely.
Like adding a
Let's
space or white space.
correct. So we will put now a parenthesis followed by 3 digits.
Oh, yep. So digit wiggly braces
3.
3.
Close the
then-
parenthesis. Then there's a space. Then there's 3 digits.
I was so with you for a solid minute and a half.
I'm so sorry.
No.
I'm so sorry. I'm going through this way too fast. So we've got our digits in a parenthesis.
You're fine. This was not a lack of comprehension. I realized for just a hot second that I was emotionally rejecting regular expressions existing again, which if folks get like math fear or regex fear or JavaScript fear, this can get kind of stressful. Ooh, so
Everything's
Nojo's
fine.
asking about my idea. So Nojo's saying, hey, Jess, the way you've pitched this was, would we return reject test number and? I would say or.
I'm
So-
with Jess on this one because a phone number can't match 2 regexes in this
Yeah.
case.
So the and operator means make so that operate the and says, hey, I'm testing if this is true and false. That's not necessarily part of the and. And if I say, hang on, let me pseudocode this out. If I said, Ramon, do you like apples and bananas and kiwis and papayas and homework? In order for you to answer true, you'd have to like all of these. It have to be these. So the like for each of these would have to be present in each. Oh, no, just got it. Whereas if I said, hey, Ramon, do you like apples or bananas or papayas or homework? You only have to answer yes to one of those for that to be true. Ooh, Steven is following my initial idea where Steven's like, "Look, this sucks." Um, Steven's super sweet and wouldn't have said that, but like, right? So like, "Hey, this seems like a lot of regular expressions and a lot of different kinds of characters to mess with. What if we just like what if we cleaned this data first, ran the logic on that, and then just showed the original string to be like, ha ha ha, this matched, even though the logic you're doing is on the clean string." I like that. I'm not the boss of you. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'd love to see someone work with that kind of logic. Like, hey, I'm going to clean up this data first and then worked with the clean data. Because I don't want to write multiple regular expressions. I hate a regular expression.
I agree wholeheartedly, and
Oh,
the
do the
reason that
instructions say we
I feel
can't?
what's that? No. The reason I'm apprehensive to do it is because there's so much inconsistency to a phone number that I fear that whittling it all down to this, for example, and not taking into account that sometimes there's spaces, sometimes there's not spaces.
But if I
I feel
remove
like
all the spaces and if I remove all, so if I first, let me talk you through my logic. So
sure.
I get a phone number.
Yeah.
I check for any forbidden characters.
Yeah.
If it's got a forbidden character, I return false. I don't have to do any more work. I don't want to do work I don't want to do.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have any forbidden characters, the next thing I
Yeah.
want to do is have a function that cleans out all the parentheses and the hyphens
Dashes.
and the
Yeah.
spaces and says, cool. Now I've just got a string of numbers. And then I think I only have to write two regular expressions. One to say, hey, does it start with a 1? If it does, I expect 1, 3 digits, and 4 digits. And if it doesn't start with a 1, I just expect 3 digits and 4 digits.
That's really good. The reason that I'm very apprehensive to do something like that, Jess, is because this phone number here in that algorithm would be valid. And this is an invalid phone number.
Ah!
Which is
This
why I want to
is
be that's why I want to be extremely strict about making sure, hey, if there is an opening parenthesis, there should be a closing one as well.
okay.
Otherwise, it's not valid.
And Chris is making the same point. We're like, how do you know
Yeah.
the space and hyphens and parentheses? I'd argue if I was the boss of this team, I'd be like, I don't care. I don't care if somebody didn't close a parentheses. It's still a number. But Free Code Camp is our boss here, and we're
Yeah.
gonna do what they say. I'm so sorry, y'all. I just talked you through my dream workflow, and then
That
boom,
was
dreams
perfect.
crashed.
And I'm sorry to crush the dream,
You're
but I think it's good to talk
not.
about this
You
stuff.
love it.
You're very sweet.
But I also think this is a really, really good point because Stephen was like, how do you conceptualize starting a project like this? And oftentimes you're like, wait. I've got a flow in my heart.
Yeah.
And then either screaming at the code makes it show that it doesn't work, or hitting a test that fails shows it doesn't work, or your beloved code partner is just like, you didn't read the instructions. And Jane's pointing out as well, like, you gotta get the pattern right. We can't just delete these. If you refactored this on your own time, you could.
Yep, totally. So we've written our second regular expressions. We're going to text that either the first one matches or the second one matches. So what we're going to start doing now is validating both of these phone numbers.
Okay.
Possible. Yes.
Don't forget that we're not gonna write the logic for either looping through or if elsing this for folks.
Nope. They
Okay.
can go with their hearts on how they want to do this best. Can I do this though? Ah, wonderful. Cool. Cool.
Oh,
It's going to make my life a little bit easier.
right? Because Nojo was just like, I got you. We need that bar for or.
Yeah. Let's do this
I'd
next
l
one.
I'd love a
Yep.
version of the boot camp where we just, like, make all the learners from the last boot camp each take a lesson and do this instead, and we just go to the beach for
Yeah.
16 weeks.
So we've got a new phone number that's valid, that's not passing. So what I'm going to do here, oh no, I'm not going to copy paste. Copy pasting is going to make things confusing. Let's make a new regex called regex3, and regex3 has got a match. Oh, I might copy paste that actually.
Ooh.
So regex 3 is going to match.
Oh,
Let's see.
Stuart showed us
A1.
this as well. So even though this is all like conceptually one line of code, we can break it up and make it easier for us to read
Mhm.
and hurt us less. And I
So it's
love
a
how you're
1.
structuring this. So you say, "Hey, cool. I know that I care when my regular expressions. I know I care when this pattern starts, and I know I care when this pattern stops. So I'm going to start with
Mhm.
slash slash, or I can't tell which direction I am, and
Yeah.
then build out these components, these patterns that I can see in my regular expression. I'm going to bring them down. So I need to start with a one. Then I need a parentheses, 3 digits, clothing
Yep.
parentheses,
Then the brackets.
the brackets, 3 digits, a hyphen, 4 digits, and then we have to stop. Okay, so even if we don't like regular expressions, seeing these patterns again and again um, are, yeah, these are possible and doable and less scary. Eric's asking, and I love this question because it's extremely cursed. Hey, we've got 3 regular expressions. Could we write one really big regular expression that does this? And Ramon has been like, "Go with your heart." And I'm gonna say, "You can do it. I'm not gonna do it." Like, I'd rather have me personally, with my deep and immovable fear of regular expressions, I'd prefer 0 regular expressions, but if I have to have them, I'd prefer multiple short ones versus one, long one.
Yeah. So cool. We've got 3 regular expressions so far. So this is for this one, regex 1 for the second type, and regex 3 for the third type. But here's the thing, Jess.
Oh, no, it's a thing.
The thing is, these phone numbers are structurally quite similar. And if we look at these 2 regular expressions, they're almost identical, save for the fact that there may or may not be white spaces after the 1 and after the parenthesis.
Oh!
You know what I would love to do?
We
I'd
we can
love
sq
to Yes,
can we squish them?
we can refactor them into 1 regular expression.
Okay, look, I think that squish them is also a valid way to say that, but
Squish them is super valid.
I even have the logic we can put in there. I just don't know how to write it in a regular expression, which again is a really, really common way to break down projects like this to be like, hey, 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 I know how to do this. I can say it in human language, but you could not make me learn how to do this in a regular expression. I think you may make me. I think that we need to have the one and then say 0 or 1 spaces.
Yes, what I had in mind, which is quite
Oh.
similar, is the optional operator. So either there is a space or there isn't.
Oh! Oh, with the 1 bar.
The 1 bar? Sorry.
So we can use 1 bar to say "or" in a regular expression.
No, if you see this question mark here, it's
Yes.
saying either the thing we're matching just before that, the character we're matching just before that, either it's there or it's not.
Oh, rad. Yes, let's do that.
Yeah. Let's do the same thing here. Whoopsie. And
Yeah.
now regex3 can go. And look at that. We can still match all 3 types of phone numbers,
Huh.
which is lovely. Shall we keep
And
doing a couple more? Sorry.
let's do 1 more. Just
Mhm.
and it seems like I'm being especially mean to y'all, and I am being mean to y'all. But it's genuinely because, like, if you wanted to, there are definitely people on YouTube showing the entire thing for, all the free code cam stuff. But just watching somebody do it isn't gonna give you these problem-solving skills that y'all need. I'm so sorry that my instructional design for this boot camp involves letting y'all struggle.
I
Uh,
wanna do one more, if I may.
1 more. Only do you wanna pick which one?
Yes, I wanna
Oh,
do
do
this
the
one for
learners
a
wanna
very
pick which one?
No, I want to do this one. I'm sorry, learners. I really want to do this one. And
Yep,
I
yep,
want to
yep.
be very evil for it for that reason. And I apologize.
Oh, no, I love the idea of you being evil. Yes.
So, oh, hold up. Console log validate this one. Now, this is and we're just going to write the regex first, and then we'll do any refactoring that is required. So it'll start and end with, let's see, parenthesis. We know how to do parenthesis. 3 digits.
Okay. With the
Close parenthesis. Cool. Then we've got three digits. Then we've got a dash, and then 4 digits. Okay.
okay.
So this is now a valid phone number. Now here's where I become a little bit evil or a little bit complex. If you think about it, regex 3 and regex 2 are almost identical in structure, save for the fact that there could be a 1 in a space, there could be a 1, or there could be none.
Can
so
we,
what we can do? Yes.
Can we question mark that 1?
I would actually recommend that we make that 1 an optional, because remember, if we question mark the 1, then the regex could start with a space.
Oh.
Sorry, not the regex, the phone number.
The phone number.
So what I want to do is take all of this, 1 and maybe a space, and make that optional. And that's done with the group operator followed by a question mark.
Oh, so like all of this stuff in here, if we're going to use it, we can use it. And this is great because Jane has really predicted what you were saying. Like, hey, look, can we use a group like this? And round parentheses instead of the square bobbies to say,
Yep.
can we pick up if there's a dash, a space, or a no space? So
I think, Jane, that would only check if there's a dash followed by maybe a space or no space. But you're saying either. So what I would actually write for that, I'm just going to write, is this. Hear me out. There's our group with an operator, and we're checking if maybe there's a dash, maybe there's a space. Notice the difference. And I know it's pedantic. Sorry, I'm talking.
I mean, I'm reasonably sure that regexes require you to be viciously pedantic.
A little bit.
Viciously, assertively.
Oh, I like assertive. Yeah.
I mean, I said what I said, but I'm going to make it sound less scary for the learners. And the thing is, what we're seeing here is different things are hard for different people.
Absolutely.
And it's wild because, like, I always thought when we started teaching regexes with the boot camp, I thought all the learners would just be like, no. And I tried not to let it creep into my language at first, but no. That is my approach to regular expressions. But the learners, a lot of folks have just been like, yeah, regex makes sense. Yeah. And Steven's asking, so the question mark, the conditional doofy, will always take the smooth parentheses immediately before it, and it doesn't have to, but it will. But if the question mark comes after the parentheses set, it will apply to everything in that parentheses.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
I'm already doing it here. Look.
Yep.
So hear me out. This is, hey, check whether maybe there is, maybe there isn't a 1 followed by a maybe there isn't, maybe there is space. So Jane's saying something that I find really important. So wrapping it in the capture group ensures it covers the 3 possibilities. Got it. Thanks. I should be able to get rid of some of my many regexes with this. Absolutely. But I want to focus on something there. So you solved it. When I originally solved this, I think I had like either 9 or 10 regular expressions. And I broke it down by doing these refactorings.
Squishy babies.
And I got it down to 3.
So you could probably get it down to 1 if you were, like, very, very extra.
Correct. I'm not gonna do it because, I wanna spend my time taking naps.
You feel like, "I'm not gonna do this because I like to be happy." But if some of you don't love happiness or you're more cheerful about regular expressions than we are, um, it is an option.
Yeah. So, VPrepare says something I find really important. It just shows that experienced developers don't know everything either. We do not. We absolutely do not. Oh my goodness, no. And I hope to have shown that enough. Mr. Grubhorn is asking, is that a capture group? And if so, how do you decide whether to use a capture or non-capture group? This is checking this capture group for whether this exists or not. Yeah. Steven says, sorry, I don't get why the capture group needs parentheses around it. Because, Steven, this isn't a capture group. This is I don't know what it's called, like to check whether it's one or the other. The square brackets are not a capture group. The smooth parentheses are. So the parentheses are the capture group.
Okay.
Character class. Thank you, Steven. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it doesn't, huh? I have no idea. To be honest, I never have to. Let's try it. Steven B's asking, so we can't do character class? I have no idea. I've never had to. This has never stopped me from doing stuff before. Let's give it a try.
You're like, "The things I don't know yet have never stopped me from trying."
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
a whole mood though, isn't
here's
it?
what we're gonna do. Let's just try it out, honestly.
How badly can
So,
it hurt us?
yeah. Test. They're not gonna hurt Stephen B. No, absolutely not. So, will this match a minus? Hold on. Let me get rid of these. Cool. So if there's a minus, true. If there's no minus, true. If there's blah, 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 also true. So looks like they're not needed in the character class case. But when there's no character class, I needed the parentheses. Thank you for drilling down on that. I would have just had to play around with it. Okay. Tina's got a great question. How are you seeing your console log output without all the failing tests? Sorry, that was from the beginning. Do you know what I did? I put the script in the body. So the script is always getting run. So I'm just not, it's just running it. So I made myself a tiny HTML file.
Jane's got a really good question, which is something you use all the time. Like, how are you commenting out all these lines at once?
Yeah, let's check it out. So what I did was I selected these lines and then I'm on Mac OS. So I pressed Command and /. That comments lines in and out. On Linux and Windows, that's Control/. That's in VS Code or Visual Studio Code, which is a code editor, an app for writing code. In other ones, it's with other keyboard shortcuts. And I believe that what we're writing here in Free Code Camp is an open source part of VS Code.
I get that vibe myself.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is a good place to stop. Do we have any? I don't think we have any other questions.
Oh, I've got a question.
Please.
If somebody does have something they really, really dislike, like, I don't know, maybe hypothetically it's, I don't know. You know what's an example of something somebody would really, really dislike? Maybe regular expressions?
I don't see. I find that impossible. Everybody loves regular expressions.
What's the best way to sort of reduce what's the best way to get it done when something terrifies you? Oh, wow. I was just like, hypothetically, if somebody just really dislikes something and everybody's just in here like arrow functions, MySQL, servers. I like to pretend servers don't exist sometimes. So yeah, do you have any tips or tricks for like, hey, I find this really hard, or I find this really scary, or I just really don't like it? How do you make yourself still learn it or still do it? Because asking for a friend.
Oh, there's the 3 steps that Jess was always telling me that I always forget.
No,
Something
shush. No, no, no. This is not about like ask somebody, look it up,
mm,
no, 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 no. This is about motivation. How do
cool.
Oh, you know what? This might be a bigger question than this boot camp is ready to tackle. I think I might chuck this into the Discord for the learners to answer. Like, how do you get yourself to do something when you don't want to do it? Seems like a bigger
Mm.
question. Nojo's out here like perseverance, which is technically correct, but
Ooh.
I don't have any of that.
Oh
Oh,
my god, I need to
actually,
put up what Beeper Voyle said. Split it up into
uh,
smaller pieces and learn them piece by piece. Magnificent. Couldn't have put it any better myself.
okay, but that's like smaller pieces of perseverance. Jane, I love this Jane as well. Like, oh, it's good to do something you don't like and then come back to the hard thing. Oh, this is me. This is avoidance. So I'm really good at half of this. So, like, okay, go do something you do like and then totally come back and finish the hard and messy thing.
Yep.
I'm good at half of that.
Um, I want to address a quick thing. Somebody's saying, "Hey, I haven't been verified on Discord chat yet. Can you verify me, please?" I've just done another verification. If you're not getting it yet, please either make sure that you've done the green check mark on our message because that's how it gets done automatically, or send me a message on Discord, please, and I'll fix it for you. So again, make sure that you've confirmed that you agree to our code of conduct in Discord.
Okay, we've got a couple more little tiny useful ones. Oh, uh, Tina's got got me as well, saying, "No, no, no, take a break and come back." And
Oh, I
again,
like
I'm
that.
really good at half of that. Tina's also saying that pomodoros can be a really good way to focus. And I'm not just being weird. I've got a pomodoro cube, and this is like, hey, do the thing really hard for 25 minutes, and then when this buzzer goes off, you get up and have a break. Eric is absolutely got my number as well. Like, oh, have as few distractions as possible. Yeah, but the internet is right here. Mm, mm. We've got a bunch of really, really good ways to break this down. What are people's homework for tonight?
Ooh. Well, first of all, take it easy. Congratulations. We've done another project. I mean, we haven't done it yet, but y'all will have done it.
Then
Um,
someday, not right away. It doesn't have to be tomorrow.
what I might recommend is perhaps starting to take a look at tomorrow's session, which will be about uh, object-oriented programming.
I'm
I
going to
always
interrupt
advise
you
to
because
like,
this is really important. I've literally never heard of this
ooh,
before. Lisa says there's Pomodoro playlists.
ooh,
This is life changing.
yeah, love it.
Oh, and a little treat while you work. Oh,
Oh,
oh.
that's wonderful.
Sorry. Homework. Try the project, see how it goes, and then just
Yep,
look at the object-oriented stuff for tomorrow.
yep, pretty much. And other than that, take it easy.
Take it easy. Amazing. Shall we let everybody go to have an easy, easy day?
Sounds good.
All right. Bye,
Thank
my
you, everybody.
loves.
Bye, everyone.